Oh, you can craft stuff right from here.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you earlier.
Oh, I wasn't listening.
I am used to this. This is normal. It is a bit choppy, though. It's a little bit choppy. Actually, you can just pull right out of there, and it should. I think we're all out of spruce now, but if you put some more spruce in there.
I put some more spruce back in there.
Okay, then yeah, you could just go ahead and pull some fences right out of there.
Oh, I made them disappear.
Jenna, that's amazing. No, I think what happened is I got the last of them. You might have to redo the recipe.
I thought my wand, because I saw my wand move, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, no. Jenna and that diamond wand. Good grief. No, I think if you just put the recipe back in there, you should be able to make some more. And then, like I say, I'm growing some more spruce trees over there, hopefully. I haven't checked it to see how it's going.
I just used the last 48 of it.
Dun. The last 48 spruce wood or planks?
I don't know. We're just... Oh, no, we have lots of spruce. We have 4.5 thousand
planks.
Spruce wood.
Okay, then we're good.
Yeah, planks, just the wood.
Then, yeah, we're probably fine. I think my diamond wand is about to break. I think this is going to be very tragic here in a second. Because I don't think it's going to last.
Sad
well, there
music,
it goes.
But
literally,
we can't because YouTube copyright.
That darn YouTube copyright. It always comes in
No one likes you, YouTube copyright. Honestly, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like YouTube copyrights kind of ruined YouTube in a way.
Yeah, remember like old school Nigga Higa videos where it was just like he'd just be playing copywritten songs while he was
he would like parody them.
Well, he'd do How to Be a Ninja, and it's just like, yeah, like I think that video is, you can't even watch the original because he took it down because of copyright reasons. I'm sure someone else has re-uploaded it, but that's sad. That's really sad. That
you know, like,
holders don't want their content abused by kids on the internet.
There's something about like music that, like, you know, that we all know that like has this general feeling, and then creators can use it to, you know, convey something. It could be like a comedy thing or something, and that was like something that we could all relate to, and they've kind of taken that away and made it so that we can't all relate to some funny thing because no one wants to use it anymore. So they've kind of destroyed their own comedy. In their own site by being so strict with all this.
And even, you know, people who are okay with you using some of their music or bits of their music, like, you know, they won't take down the video, but it's still, you know, they'll like claim it or whatever, which means that, you know, if you're the type of person who puts 2 weeks of work into a video and it's your job, you know, you're making YouTube videos for a job and you have to pay a whole bunch of other people to come in to do lighting and camera work and all that, you know, after 2, 3, 4 weeks of work, you put up a video and within 5 seconds, some other company has claimed it. And you know, can no longer make the money you need to make to survive and pay your employees off of that video. Did you clear out the... Where are you at? Oh,
I keep trying to make a stick and it keeps disappearing. I don't know what's happening.
I was trying to craft fences. We've got 198 sticks, Jenna.
Oh, we do?
We now have...
Well, now we have more.
Can I make a fence, please?
Yes, I will put everything back.
Okay. No, I got it back in there. It's fine. What was I gonna say? I don't even remember now.
Like, if people use YouTube as a job. It's not just a hobby,
right?
And if they can't even use the music that we've all grown accustomed to hearing played with certain things, you know, like when you hear that song, you associate with that certain meme or that certain action, and like YouTubers are terrified to use it now because you know, you could get a copy strike or your YouTube channel might even get taken down if this isn't your first offense. Like, it's just. It really frustrates me. I don't know why it frustrates me so much.
It's really sad. I'm not happy. Now, I mean, a lot of people get by. You know, a lot of people create content that doesn't use copyright music and things, and I think it works.
Makes a point of it.
We do as well. I don't know if you've noticed. We've never gotten... Well, we've gotten a few claims here and there, but nothing egregious. You know, we're getting by. But yeah, it is sad. I agree.
So... Anyways, that was just kind of a mini rant. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on it lately, trying to get like a bunch of different perspectives. Because like I can see like people being like, "Oh, it's my song. I worked hard on it." But also, there comes a point where it's like, okay, you made this song to be enjoyed by others, and if they pay for it legally and it's like owned by them, they should be able to use it. I don't know. There's a lot of different sides to it.
It's one thing to completely upload someone else's song by itself. I don't think you should do that. But if you're using 30 seconds of a song in a video, that is in no way hurting you as the right holder and creator of that song bite. And if anything, it's just beneficial to you because it's putting your song out there for more people to hear and maybe want to go buy. And it's not like someone is using that 30 seconds of a song in the background of a video with other things happening. It's not like they're listening to that 30 seconds on repeat and going like, haha, I don't have to buy the song now because I've got a snippet of the song on a YouTube video.
Over people talking, usually.
Yeah, it's so stupid to stress about that sort of thing. It's just dumb.
It's kind of like just greedy, and YouTube's kind of, I don't know what I'm typing. I don't know. I feel like YouTube's kind of put themselves in this like cage almost where they've kind of like ruined the thing that made them great in the first place, in my opinion.
One of the dumbest things about YouTube back in the day, and this is something, to be fair, that they finally fixed, but if you uploaded a video and someone put a claim on that video and it wasn't a lawful claim, right? It was just some other company putting a claim on your video to get the money from it. Any revenue earned from ads or anything would immediately go to that person. And so even if you disputed the claim, all the money earned from that video would still go to them all the way up until the claim was settled. So even if they sided with you, all the money that you lost during that phase goes to that other person, even though they lied about it being their content. It wasn't their content. It was a false flag. So what you had was a bunch of I hesitate to say companies, who, people literally just made a living off of going around and claiming things that they did not own the rights to. Like when you first release a video, that's when it gets the most views and you make the most revenue. They would go in and they would snipe the video and they would get like the first 3 or 4 days of revenue. And you could dispute the claim and you could fight for it. But, whatever, even if you win...
The damage is done.
The damage is done. You've lost those first few days of revenue. And that's just the dumbest system. I don't know what type of stupid person you have to be when you're setting up a system like this to be like, yeah, that makes sense. And what's even worse is after it was determined that this was the dumbest thing ever, it took them ages to sort it out. So you literally had like... Idle Merlin, I think is what they were called, claimed one of my videos for an Assassin's Creed clip. And Ubisoft has very clear rules saying that, anyone can use their content in videos. So this person was just claiming content that wasn't theirs, and they were getting the monetization from it. And I made a video about it, very frustrated. And even to this day, even though YouTube has sorted it out now, where if someone claims your content and you do a counterclaim, all the revenue goes to the side until the claim is run its course, and then whoever wins the claim in the end gets to keep the money. So a lot of these people aren't as daring as they used to be. They'll still do it, though, right? Like, you still have these people out there claiming things that they have no right to claim because sometimes people just don't care. Especially if it's like a slightly older video, maybe you don't notice it got claimed, and they can just sort of on the side leech the money. And that's probably the biggest problem, is you can falsely claim anyone, and there's no repercussions if it turns out that you don't have the rights to that content.
Yeah.
You could claim someone, and maybe they'll fight it, maybe they won't. If they do, hey, no worries, you can claim someone else, and maybe they won't notice, and maybe you can just stealthily take all of their revenue.
So YouTube is broken, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. I'm very passionate. I'm not even a YouTuber. I'm just very passionate about like things being fair and the system not being cheated, because I spend a lot of time on YouTube and I like to know the people that I'm watching and supporting, are able to continue what they're doing, and I don't think they'll be able to if they can't make a living off of it. It's
really frustrating, but I also think that that's probably why a lot of creators, in addition to the adpocalypse that happened, a lot of creators are doing things like Patreon accounts, or they're doing bonus content for people who will sponsor the channel, which is a whole nother thing that I dislike. It's a problem on Twitch and it's a problem on YouTube. Do you know how the sponsor works on YouTube?
No, I've heard about YouTube sponsor, but people, every time I've heard someone advertise it, they're like, I'd prefer you didn't, but if you want to,
I'd say the same thing. I'd prefer you do the Patreon. And the reason is, it's $5 a month. You can't decide how much or how little it is. YouTube sets the pricing. Same with Twitch. And let's say you decide, I like this channel, I want to support their content, I'm going to sign up, the $5 a month. Well, if you're on Twitch, Twitch takes 50% of that. So you're not actually giving the creator you're trying to support as much money as you think you are, because Twitch is taking half of it. YouTube's not as bad. It takes, I think, 30 or 40%, but that's still a lot. So really, you're just giving them more money. And that's why I always say, look, if you want to do this, that's fine. You know, I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate it all the same. But it's better for you. Like, I think you get a better experience. And it's better for me as well if you just go to Patreon. Because Patreon takes, like, I think not even 10%. It's super, super small. So, and also I can set the pricing. So we have a $1 tier. And the $1 tier gets you access to, like, the vanilla server and the special channels on Discord and all the content and everything. Just $1. Which is way cheaper than the YouTube and the Twitch. But that's like this other spectrum of the system that's also just broken. It's like YouTube knows, like, hey, sometimes there's not enough ads, and sometimes people claim your videos. But if people are willing to give you $5 a month, we'll only take like $2 or $3 from that. Twitch is like, oh yeah, we'll only take like a couple bucks. They really just have no business with that, right? Like, I understand they have to make money. They're running all the servers and everything. But that's what the advertising is for. You know, if a fan decides that they want to contribute in some way, that's not your money, YouTube. It's not your money, Twitch. Anyway,
I don't know. We're getting very
we're getting ranty. We're
media
getting very ranty.
political.
We're getting very ranty towards a site that allows us to post our videos for free,
which is great. Like, YouTube is a great idea if executed properly.
It's just not been executed properly. And then you have all these websites that pop up and they're like, we're going to take that down, YouTube, or we're going to try to compete with YouTube. And the problem is, it's not profitable. YouTube loses. A lot of people don't know this. YouTube doesn't make Google money. It technically loses money, right? And Google justifies it because basically you are a commodity as a person, and they can keep track of all the videos you watch, and they can use that to... Jen, I'm sorry, I cleared out the search thing again.
Tisk, tisk, Reese.
You know, they can sell, we know what you're watching, we know what you're interested in, so we can sell that to advertisers. So even though they lose money operating YouTube each year, they make enough back through their search engine optimization and all the information they get out of it that way. So the problem is when you have someone else step up and say, well, we're going to compete, you can't really, because, you know, YouTube's not making any money. How are you going to make any money? You know, it's not like if you step in and you say, well, I'm going to compete with YouTube by doing the same thing YouTube does, does that mean you're going to create a search engine and you're going to create like an advertising scheme like YouTube and somehow, you know, optimize it to be profitable even though you're technically losing money on it? It's way too much for anyone else to get into. So YouTube, they have a monopoly, right? Twitch can compete with them because Twitch sort of has its own thing. Like, YouTube has live streaming. But
it's not the main thing.
It's not the main thing, whereas on Twitch, live streaming is the main thing, and they do it so much better on Twitch. They've got it so much more sorted out than YouTube. But anyone else trying to step in and do that, like Microsoft launched their own streaming service called Mixer, which I used for a while, and it's not bad, but it's not great either, and it doesn't really, like, it's got some cool ideas, but it doesn't really compete with YouTube or Twitch on, like, a high enough level, I don't think. So the problem is YouTube and Twitch both have like a monopoly. Twitch over live streaming, YouTube over videos on demand. And there's just no one who's been able to compete with them. So we're just sort of stuck with them. And that's
everything
the
is broken.
Jenna
Everything's
and I
broken.
are just talking until we get this roof done, by the way, in case y'all were wondering. We've just
But
gotta
also,
stretch
I've
this
always
out.
wanted to rant about this. It's been a long time coming.
It's good. It's a good rant topic, I think. Anyway.
Anyway, so that was just, I was watching other YouTubers because I like just like seeing kind of what's happening in the YouTube world. Not that I am a YouTuber. I don't know. I like to stay on top of it.
You're on Howdy Folks.
I mean, a little bit. Yeah, I'm a Howdy Folks representative.
I don't really want to be seen as a YouTuber, though, right? And that's why I'm trying to push the patron a bit more and trying to create content over there that is worth, like, you know, trying to make a subscription service, because I want to be self-sufficient with all this. I don't want to rely on YouTube. If YouTube disappeared tomorrow, I'd want to be able to have my eggs in as many baskets as necessary to get by. That's why I stopped streaming on YouTube, and I only stream on Twitch, because if something happens to YouTube, I want to have another outlet that's already established, right? And that people already know about. Like, if you woke up tomorrow and there's no Howdy Folks, for some reason, you could know, okay, well, there's the Discord, and there's the Patreon, and there's the Twitch, So
Howdy Folks is beyond us.
It's still
it's its own entity.
It still exists outside of YouTube. YouTube is not Howdy Folks. That's what I'm trying to push right now. And I've been thinking about doing some YouTube live streams, specifically of Minecraft, because I think they would do really well. But I want to use those streams to push the Twitch, right? Like, hey, if you enjoyed this, I live stream lots and lots of other things over on Twitch. You should go watch that right now. You know, that would be my intention if I started doing YouTube live streams again.
Right.
But yeah, and that's why I want to get into doing the commentary tracks and the podcasts and stuff. I want to diversify. You know, like that's what, when you're a clever businessman and you invest wisely, you diversify and you have all these different areas of, you know what it's like. You're a clever businessman. You know what's up.
I actually have a meeting in another couple weeks, I think, to talk about starting my investments and diversifying my stuff
portfolio
and such.
Yes,
that's what the meeting's about, to teach me and get me started on that. Very excited. That's neither here nor there, but
that's very cool. Yeah, start saving for your retirement and everything, because
my retirement, which
Social
is coming
Security
so soon,
is not going to exist by the time you retire. It's already bankrupt.
F in the chat for Social Security.
I thought that was going to work out. It's like, okay, we'll take your money and we'll hold on to it. And when you're old and you retire, it'll definitely still be there. We won't use it for random wars. No, it's going to be there when you retire. Just give us a percentage of your paycheck. You're already doing it with taxes anyway. Come on, trust us. Don't trust anyone.
Don't trust anyone.
That's the lesson to the chat.
I have that tattooed on my lip.
You do, and it looks a little weird sometimes.
Well, I don't usually show it to people, so.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if you've noticed, but during movie night, you'll just fold your lip down.
Yeah.
Like, anytime you think someone's untrustworthy. I'm like, what do you think of this character, Jen? And you just, like, pull your lip down.
Flips the lip.
Oh,
yeah.
right, of course, yes.
Don't trust anyone.
Yep, this Woody guy sure does seem suspicious. I think he's right to not trust Buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah, following the old Jenna line. I think we probably should have split this into 2 episodes, and I might do it in editing. Just seeing how long it's taken us to finish
That's back to our golden days.
Back to the old days of just randomly cutting videos into 15-minute segments. It's crazy how this has evolved from, like, oh, we'll do 10-minute videos, 15-minute videos. Last time we recorded, we were doing 30-minute videos.
Wow.
We're down to 25 now, or however long these 2 have been. This snapping around and rubber banding is insane, and I'm tired of it. Just throwing that out there. Is that happening to you as much?
Yeah, a little bit.
It is not good. Anyway,
well, we'll get on the new server. It'll be great.
It'll be great. You're right. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to get bones and bone mill. I don't know why these trees aren't growing fast enough. Our trees are not growing at all.
I tried to make them grow by running really fast by them. They didn't seem very phased.
They didn't care for your running.
I know.
I'm going to...
It's like my entire Sparkies group.
Do we have any... Oh, Sparkies. You know, I was never in Sparkies.
I loved Sparkies. I think that was the best time of my life.
That's tragic.
I know. I peaked in Sparkies.
I was in TNT, and that was it. That was the...
If you're not a church kid or a homeschooled kid, everything we talk about must be wildly confusing.
It must be. Like, what's a TNT?
I was in the bomb squad.
I started at the very end, right? Like, I was only in TNT for 1 year. But in that 1 year, I finished, I think, 2 books. And I remember one day I went in, it was getting real close, and I wanted to finish up this book. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do, I think it was 4 sections, which would have required that I had
bold
21 verses memorized, maybe? Something like that.
Don't tell me you did it.
I did it.
Oh, my gosh.
And at the end of that day, what was the man's name who was in charge of it all? Do you remember his name?
Schmidt? Was it Schmidt?
It wasn't Schmidt. No, at the time it was someone else. I can't remember his name. But he called me up.
Was it Dupre?
No, it wasn't. He called me up at the end and he was like, Mr. Rees here is getting all, I think it was 4 pins, I think. Because, you know, you had the thing that pinned on your shirt and then you had the badges that went on it. He's getting 4 badges because he did all 4 sections tonight. And there was this group of girls.
All the ladies loved you after that.
Well, there was a group of girls, one of whom I was interested in. They were looking at me with this look of astoundment, like open mouth, like, how did he do that? And then one of them said that I was walked by and I was like, I'm the coolest person here right now. How about that?
Dang,
it was a
great.
simpler time when memorizing 21 Bible verses, or however many it was, made you the coolest kid on the block.
Sparkies. I miss Sparkies. Because in Sparkies, that's like, what, 7, 8, 9 years old or whatever?
I think that TNT is 9, 10, 11, and...
So it's like 7, 8.
Well, it's all the way up to you enter junior high.
Yeah.
It's 4 years,
So
the 4 years before junior. You know how I am with grades.
I
was
did
homeschooled.
Sparkies, and I was like, I had so much fun. Like, everyone was my friend. Everyone kind of was on, like, the same playing field. There wasn't really any kind of clique or anything, which I loved because I didn't really fit in any type of clique. So I get into TNT, and there was already one major clique settling in.
Uh-oh.
And they
Clique
like
culture.
to... I know. They, like, talked about things that, like, I didn't understand as, like, I don't know, like a 9-year-old. And they'd be like, oh, she wouldn't get this. And they, like, walk away. And it, like, devastated me as a 9-year-old because I was like, I've never experienced this before. Like, this rejection. And
We're no longer on an even plane.
TNT was a rough time for me. There's even a picture. It's so sad. I kept it because I laugh at it sometimes. It sounds mean, but it's a picture of the entire group, and it's all the girls together, and it's like me off to one side, like those cheesy movies you see.
You were probably pretty happy over there by yourself, to be honest. By the end of it.
I was. That's true. The only thing I cared about was getting in. I'd say my Bible verse, and then there was like the bucket full of rewards.
Yeah.
And I would get little notebooks, and I would like draw, and I'd write poems, and I'd sit in the corner with my new notebook.
Oh my gosh, you
and
were
I
that
would
kid.
like, yeah.
Of course you were. Of course you were. I would have known that.
I didn't really care to be like, I tried to be part of the clique the first couple weeks, got rejected, spat back out, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm just gonna sit here in the corner and enjoy my notebooks. And that's what I did for the rest of my time in TNT.
It's a fair call. It's a fair call. I don't think guys click off like that young. I think it's often said that girls mature faster than boys. We definitely didn't click off in TNT. I think we clicked more in high school. But I was going through high school during that weird phase in our culture where the sporty kids were starting to be the outcasts.
Yeah.
And the nerds were the cool kids.
Very 2000s.
So I entered knowing my place in high school. I was like, I'm the nerd. I like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. These sporty kids, they're at the top. But I kind of remember the transition. I remember going in one day and was immediately swarmed by other people who all sat around me and were talking to me. I was just having a good day. I looked over and I was looking at my friend Trace, whom I love. Good guy Trace. Like, Trace is a real nerd, and so am I. But we're the cool kids. How did this happen? It was wild. It was nuts. I remember 2012. I'd already graduated, but, I remember someone asking me about, I heard Disney bought Star Wars. And I was like the go-to guy on it. I was the guy in the street, and I was on the beat, and I had all the inside information. I was like, yeah, they did. Was that 2012? I think it was. Yeah, it's weird that culture did that shift, where now all of a sudden it's sort of nerd culture rules, and video games are cool, and Marvel is like the best thing ever, and what have you done? Actually, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
That looks pretty cool.
I made an executive decision.
It looks more substantial. I'll go do that.
Yeah,
to
I
these
don't want
over
it
here.
to blow over.
Yeah, because it kind of looked like it might there for a second. Were we answering a question with all that, or was that all just random? I can't remember now.
I don't think there was a question in
Okay.
that.
So we were just being random. Fun stuff.
Yeah. I got to, share my embarrassing past. Probably shouldn't have done that. But now it's out there, so
if I may,
everyone knows.
To provide some helpful information to kids at home who are maybe going through high school or whatever, it doesn't really matter. It honestly doesn't.
Yeah.
All the cliques and all the popular kids. It seems important. I know it seems important. I used to get frustrated with my parents because I would try to explain my teen problem, and they'd be like, none of that really matters. Like, you don't understand. You're too old. You've forgotten what it's like.
You've forgotten what it's like.
They're like, I went through it too. I was like, so long ago, you don't remember what it's like in the moment, though. Which, I don't, maybe there's truth to that. But having grown up, I now look at these people going through these problems. And I remember growing up, I was like, I will never forget what it's like to be them in that moment. Nah, I remember what it's like, and it's real dumb. It's real dumb, and it's all really meaningless, and you'll realize that when you get a bit older.
There were so many
Excuse me
things
for maybe
in high
laughing
school.
a bit at your dumb high school problems.
there were so many things that I thought were such a big deal in high school. Like, my parents would ask me to take my little brother around with me to, like, movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And I would get so mad. I was like, that's not my job. Like, I'm 16. I should be allowed to just go out. And looking back on it, like, he was way cooler than most of the people brother. I was going to go hang out with. And now I'm the one begging him to hang out with me. Like, I was like, hey, Brenton, can we go get ice cream tomorrow? And he's like, maybe. I'll see what I'm doing. And I was like,
see if I'm
wow, I just want to hang out with you. Like, I'm like, I don't know. Things definitely change once you leave high school. It's like a very big perspective shift. Everything you thought was a big deal, you realize, like, oh, like, I didn't have to fit in with that clique because now they're all working at Walmart and I'm fine.
Nothing wrong with that if you work at Walmart.
Nothing wrong with that, but they acted like they were going to be walking the runway, let me tell you.
Yeah, it didn't work out for him, did it? Talking about that with your brother, I hang out with Micah a lot now. He's kind of a cool guy. And one time my mom, when we were younger, mom was constantly like, take Micah with you, do this with Micah, just hang out with your Micah. And I was like, I don't want to. Micah's a nerd. Leave me alone. And she asked me once, like, well, now that you hang out with Micah so often, don't you wish you'd done it more when you were younger? No, I don't. Because Micah is 7 years younger than me.
Yeah.
If I'd hung out with him when I was younger, I would have been 17, he would have been 10, and he was a very annoying child. That hasn't really changed, but now we're sort of both annoying in the same ways. So, no, I don't regret not spending more time with him when he was younger. I'm just happy that now that he's older and we have more common interests and things, now we get to hang out. But it was like when I was young, I didn't want to hang out with my older sister, right? Mm-hmm. And she didn't want me to hang out with her, which makes sense because I was a very annoying child, and also she was a teenage girl. She's 9 years older than me. And so now we can hang out. We'll go on family vacation stuff, and we get along just fine. But it's like, now looking back on it, I don't wish we hung out more. We were entirely different people.
Yeah.
It was
Whereas
different
me
for you
and my brother are like 3 years
like
apart.
3 years apart. So you're just like messed up. I don't know why you didn't want to hang out with him. He's a cool kid.
I was like 16, I liked boys. I wanted to go hang out with people. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It checks out. It definitely checks out. It makes sense.
Should we add more pillars in between so it doesn't look like it's just floating?
My problem is I don't know what the distance is, if you know what I mean. So I don't know how to evenly space them.
5 blocks.
But what if we get to the end and there's only enough space for like 3? You know what I mean? And then it's awkward. I think we'd have to go through and do like test pillars.
Math. Ugh.
So like go through and be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 test pillar. And then
maybe
count
we could
it.
do more than that, like 10. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I mean, just to check the spacing.
Yeah. And
then if we get to the end and it's incorrect, we could do the math to figure out. My game is freaking out. It's
no.
Scrolling between things all by itself. I talk to people on the server. I'm like, how's the server running? They're like, great, love it. Are they just used to these problems, or are we having these problems because of something? I'm not uploading a video, am I? No, I'm not. I made sure I wasn't.
Because our audio would be laggy.
Yeah, it would. So I don't know. Maybe we should go ahead and end it for this episode.
With a poker.
With a poker.
Stabbing myself with your poker.
What? I don't have a poker. What are you stabbing?
Yes,
I need to finish so I can go see what you're doing.
It's like your little tool thing.
This is why I need you in
It's like
this
an
room.
ice pick, but it's sharper. And I'm poking myself in the knee.
Thank you, folks, for watching. God bless you, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Goodbye.